another issue that doesn't really kind of get done.
I think, and Mrs. Jackson could correct me, at one of our AGMs we had, I think he was a solicitor, and he spoke about wills. Now, what I found quite interesting, a lot of our parents who have lived in England, they have the will that they made in England, and it's their last living testimony, and then they've moved to America, and they've made a will in America, and then they've moved back to Jamaica or the Caribbean, and they've made another will. Yeah, I don't personally, yeah. So if parents have got more than one will, you have to decide which is the last one they've made, which is the one they want to take into consideration. Also, Mrs. Jackson, you could correct me because I don't want to say the wrong thing. If they have land in Jamaica and that land is put in their will, that's also part of their assets. So I think that's something that people will have to speak to a legal person about, because I think that could get quite complicated, because you really don't want this government to have anything to do with any land. Yes, it will, definitely. Definitely, you have to be careful. Now, again, not with our family, but with my friend's family, as soon as they mention, Mom, Dad, have you got a will? The first thing the parents say, honestly, Auntie, my money. First thing, honestly. And then, how many people I've got to say you've got to talk? And because our parents don't want no one to take their money, you really have to use reverse psychology in some shape and form. You really have to attack it from a completely different angle that they're not expecting. And then when you kind of say, but you know what, they're going to take all your money, you know, even make it up. Make something up that makes them recognise they have to have some documentation, a will, for something, because it's going to cost you more when you have to go for probate. And the form, there's another form, once you've done the will, they've passed away, there's a probate form. Now, for us, we went online. It did take us a long time because we had to go through pension and all these kind of finances that my dad had. But it cost us, I think, with 2 copies at the time, just under £100. When we went to discuss the will, you know, see Dad's will and everything, with the solicitor, and my brother brought it up, and we asked, because they said, you know, for some families, it's quite a lot for them to do, and it's quite harrowing after the funeral, blah, 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 blah. And my brother said, so how much will it cost? And she said, £1,200 to just fill out the probate form that you can download online.
Rip-off.
Yeah? It does take a while to do it, and you've got to make sure you've got all the paperwork together in order to put it on the form. But you can do it yourself. You just take your time and do it, or you find a friend that knows about finances, you can take your time and do it, because that's money that you really can't afford at that time. But make sure if you can that they have a will and you know where the will is.
So what if they haven't got any of these things? Because my issue is that my dad was in Jamaica, came back here for a holiday, got ill, and then you realise he's got dementia. And at quite a late stage.
Yeah, he won't be able to, because he hasn't got the mental capacity to. So you might know that's what he wants, but he's got to be able to tell the solicitor that is what he wants. He has to be able to tell them that. Otherwise, legally, they shouldn't let him sign it.
I think I've got the opposite problem. I've noticed in the last year that my mum, just turned to really age, she's 77, she's been trying to talk to me about her passing, and I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to accept it. And I don't know if she has a will, because she's been trying to tell me about things, and I've been deliberately ignoring it because I don't want to imagine her passing. Yeah. But I just want to check, so you're telling me if someone does have a will, and if someone doesn't have a will, does that mean that their assets will be seized by this government?
I'm just thinking of something that happened to someone I know.
Has.
When there wasn't a will, but there was a will. There was a will. But the problem was the person who was the executor of the will, his family, were not quite happy about that. So as far as I know, there was a will, but everyone thought there wasn't a will. And they went for the probate as if there wasn't a will.
Okay.
So I think once probate's granted, I don't know what documentation, I'm not very good on the will side, I don't know what documentation you have to present if there is no will. But once you're given probate, or the officer said, yes, you have the probate, then you can go about your daily duties pertaining to the person's assets and their land.
So let's imagine my mum doesn't have one.
Yes.
What do I do then? Do I encourage her to make one?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, while she's got the mental capacity, yes.
And I think she has, but it's me that doesn't want to discuss it.
And so, depending on where you go, they can be quite expensive. So, if you contact places like any organisations like Age Concern or Age UK, they have solicitors that specifically deal with wills, and they do it at a discount because they're elderly as well. And if they're on benefits, they might even get it cheaper.
And then if she has one,
yes,
what do I do with that then? We have to decide who's the power of attorney.
No, the will and the power of attorney are two separate things.
Okay.
The will and the power of attorney are two separate things. The power of attorney only gives you permission to deal with the person's finances or their health and well-being while they're alive, but they haven't got the mental capacity to do it themselves.
And you're saying that we should really do that
before they
the
lose
diagnosis. So this is something I should be doing within the next
because
couple of
once
weeks.
they lose their mental capacity, you can't do it because they can't tell you what they want. You know what they want, but they can't actually tell you.
Okay, quickly go over again.
Quickly go over again. If there isn't a will.
If there isn't a will, you have to go for probate, and I don't know what the legalities are behind that, but I've heard that it costs you more than if there was a will.
Get it done now.
Long time.
So it's best to do it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Encourage them to do it now. I mean, and me personally, I've took one off the internet, and I've gone through it with I bought double Smith one, but I won't recommend that for you guys.
Yeah.
But for myself, and I've gone through that with a friend, so a friend's helped me with that. But I think for the elders, I think you need to go and see a solicitor and get it done properly and go through everything.
That's if she doesn't have one.
If she does have one, you need to know where it is.
Yeah.
You need to know if it's lodged with a bank, because normally they might lodge it with a bank. And if you don't know what the problem is, if you don't know what the bank is, or the solicitor that she's got it with, they've got the will, but they might not know that she's passed away. Because a member of the family has to come and tell them, so they can release the will.
What's the difference between lodging the will with the bank and with the solicitor?
It's just preference.
It's just preference, I think.
But legally they're the same rules?
Yeah. It's just that the bank have it, so so you may have a copy, but it's lodged somewhere. So when it comes to the reading of the will, or the executor is going to deal with the will, it's in a safe place. You know that it's at that bank, so you know you can find it rather than knowing it was in a cupboard in a house somewhere, but you're not quite sure where.
Okay.
Because there's certain things when you have to deal with some of their finances, you may need to provide the will for certain organisations.
Do you know roughly how much it costs?
Well, at the time, I think it was about £250.
250.
Yeah, but it varies depending on the assets and how much work has to go into the will. It was pretty simple. So it wasn't like I give this to so-and-so, it was this is divided between my children. It was not complicated at all.
Well, mine will take 1 minute, I'm broke.
This is one thing I have to say, that my mum is the sort of person, the first thing she did was to set up a will about 10 years ago, even before she had dementia.
Yeah.
She's one of these people that likes to be organised around her money and her finances.
Yeah, that's my mum.
She sets up a will, she goes, I've only got you 3 children,
Yeah,
you're all on the will, that's it, we know where it is. She's very, very organised in that sense.
And also, say for funerals,
she's worrying about her funeral
my mum's setting
now.
up already, the bank account's there, she's telling me what dress she wants, everything. So when I talk about it to my children, my daughters don't want to hear it, but they need to hear it. They need to know what I want.
My mum is letting me know that you have to.
You have to.
Coming here is really easy. She's been trying to sort of broach this conversation with me, but I haven't wanted to listen to it.
Yeah, you have to
You need to, because she's wanting the conversation, you need to get.
I know it's hard, and I know exactly what you're trying to say.
No, because my mum is the only parent I have alive.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just difficult for me as well, because we don't have a lot of extended family that we're close to.
Yeah.
So for me, that's probably why. And I'm the first of 3 of us. And she's been trying to tell me this, and I feel sort of like I don't want to talk about when you're passing.
Are you the only daughter as well?
No, it's me, my brother, then my sister.
I'm I'm the only girl, so it all falls to me. I've got 2 brothers and just me.
But thank you very much for listening, and I hope that the information that I've given this evening has been informative.
If you need more information, contact UK Dementia UK, Culture Dementia UK. Speak to them, ring them, email them afterwards.
You two work together?
Yes. All of us.
Okay, so you don't mind? Okay, lovely, because I'll be phoning you.
Oh, thanks.
And I'll be definitely getting...
Well, only Donna, I haven't got much time. And I'm sure you all want to go home, isn't it? Well, anyway, my name is Cheryl Jackson, and I'm the Information and Access Manager for the charity Culture Dementia UK. I was going to talk about excellence in dementia care, but I really haven't got much time. No problem at all. I mean, you know, we'll have plenty of other times to do this. So what I'd like to do in the next 5 minutes is basically tell you a little bit about, you know, what our charity does, in that, you know, we go to various organisations and we educate people, we help them, we signpost them in order to get help. We go into prisons. We've been to Belmarsh, Easters Prison, and help people and show them, you know, how to deal with dementia, whether they've got inmates inside or outside or the wider family. We run, which I think might be good for some of you, a Facebook group. We've got about 1,400 members in this group, and we put up various articles about dementia, and we keep everybody up to date about dementia within the community and the world. And we've got a lot of links with other organisations globally. We also have our charity Facebook page, Culture Dementia UK, and you're all welcome to have a look at that. We're also on Twitter, and, you know, again, you're all welcome to join us. And if you know, if you're a member of a church or a certain organisation and you like what you've heard here tonight and think that we could come and speak to other people and help other people within the community to understand dementia, then please contact us, yes? We're always ready to come out and give talks and educate everybody. And I think that is the end of everything I've got to say tonight. Because
Cheryl!
I don't need to say anything.
It was brilliant, though. Cheryl, can I ask you 2 questions? Yeah, because what you just said about other organisations, very good. I'm a teacher by profession, like
Yes.
Sidonia. I'm not currently teaching, but I've got a lot of links. Have you made overtures to NUT? Because the NUT have a black caucus.
Okay, no,
And we
haven't.
meet,
Have we? No, yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, we have a black NUT, and we have our annual meeting at the National College of School Leadership every year. I mean, I'm a teacher by profession, but my membership has lapsed. But I was wondering what overtures you've made to them. Secondly, we had the TUC Black Workers Conference in April, which I attended here, not far from here, at the TUC Congress House. And there were a number of organisations that spoke there, and I'm wondering what sort of overtures you've made to the TUC, because they have a Black Workers section. So I'm just telling you, it might be a good idea for you to get in touch with the TUC, because they have an annual Black Workers Conference in April every year,
Okay.
just round the corner from here at the Congress House.
Yes,
And at that particular conference, they have people from the NHS,
yes.
you know, the railway, and all
Yeah.
the different black organisations, but I'm sure they may allow you to speak there.
Yeah.
I think the Black Teachers Conference would be an excellent locus for you,
Yeah.
in order for you to talk to black teachers,
Yes.
you know, and I think it'd be good for them.
Yeah.
Most of them are probably the same age as all of us,
Yeah.
and it'd be good. And also the NASSUWT, which is
That's mine.
another union. We had although I'm not supposed to be a member of 2 unions, but I went to the NASUWT Black Workers Conference in December 2013
Yes.
in Birmingham, and I think that would be another environment that would be very fruitful for yourselves.
Okay, well, thank you for the information.
And just a quick one, in terms of speaking with teachers, there will be an increase in child carers who are living in silence.
Absolutely.
Because, the good thing at my son's school, I'm a parent governor at my son's school, and we have a section for child carers to come to and talk amongst each other because they're suffering in silence and it affects their work.
We actually want to get a programme together. I mean, for Culture Dementia, it's all about the funds, where we can actually go into the schools because, I mean, as you rightly said, the children are the next carers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know? So we've got to educate them. We actually, Culture Dementia did a programme because we also run a day centre. And in this day centre, it was funny actually, they gave us some of the most unruliest children in that school to come and help us in the day centre. But we educated them, put them through a programme, and most of them...
Bridging the Generation
Yeah, that's it, Bridging the Generation Gap it was called. And most of them got top grades in their social care.
That's a really good programme, actually.
Yeah.
It gives them a sense of responsibility.
Exactly, and they went home and they realised, you know, Mum, something's wrong with Grandma. And they identified it because they were taught. So again, we want to go around some of these schools and deliver a programme with dementia.
Sounds good.
Have you thought of, I'm just again off the cuff thinking of, because you're looking, I mean, what you're doing is brilliant, you need exposure. Have you heard of Ben TV?
I've been on Ben
So
TV.
you've done it there?
Yes, what happened is I got the black music industry to come out and support dementia, and I had a big dance with most of the top artists, reggae artists in England. And at that point, I went on Ben TV and a lot of the radio stations, that gave me the exposure to go on the radio stations and talk about dementia. And that's how I...
Because we have a radio station called Niger FM,
Yes.
Nigerian FM, which broadcasts, and it's about things in the Nigerian community.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of the lady that runs it, but it's... Have you ever heard of them? Have you been in touch with them?
I've heard of it, but I haven't been in touch
But
with
there's
them.
numerous radio stations.
Yeah.
Galaxy,
But that
Genesis,
one's good
whole
because
heap.
You get a lot of people that listen in and
phone
they
calls
invite you.
and I mean at the moment Roots are sponsoring us. We in Thursday mornings we're sponsored by Roots FM.
What about
And-
some of the black magazines as well? Any of the black
The Voice.
magazines?
The
or
Voice.
The Voice have helped us actually. They've done a few articles. I've done a telephone interview which they printed in the Voice newspaper. Again, you know, if you haven't heard about Culture Dementia, you've most probably missed it.
Yeah.
And again, you know, that profile, we know we've got to get that profile.
It needs to be
bigger.
continuous.
Yeah.
Because you
It's
know
got to be
what?
continuous.
Because even going into packs that are given out to people that are caring for loved ones with dementia, because I'm caring for my mum, but in nowhere in any of the packs or information that I received did I receive anything about yourself.
Well, you see,
So
this
that
is
might
this
be a
is
way
kind of
of
like what I
going
was
in.
going to talk about,
Oh, right,
excellence
okay.
in dementia care, but because I didn't have enough time, I didn't bother with it. But in all of this, it was going to say to you that, you know, what is going on? There isn't. We don't have excellence in dementia care here, you know? I mean, all the publications, nothing has an image of us. You know, you can write till you're dead in the hand, right? People look at images. It's about the vision. They've got to see an image of themselves. If you go into a doctor's surgery and you're still seeing a Caucasian woman, you're going to say to yourself, oh, well, that ain't affecting me.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Culture Dementia have gone OTT the other way, where it's only images of colour, but we're the only ones doing it. So until such time when, you know, everything merges together, we have to keep on doing it this way.
For real.
Can I say another point? And I'm doing a lot of yapping, but in my borough, I do this, I'm involved in this health initiative with mainly African communities who don't have English as their first language, who have Portuguese and French and Spanish as that language. And I'm thinking of people who I know who speak Portuguese, because I can speak those languages, and what I'm trying to do is get doctors in my area to have interpreters for them. So I'm thinking about, you know, friends of mine who are my age, who are from, say, Guinea-Bissau or Zaire or wherever, or Cameroon or Togo, and they have people who might have dementia And how are they going to access that? Because this stuff is not in those languages for us.
It costs money to translate. So if people want to donate to the organisation and help pay for it, then that's brilliant.
This is the only thing that stops Culture Dementia UK. MONEY. Whereas we'd have taken it down nationwide because we know what needs to be done. We've got the formulas. Again, what I was going to talk about here. But that's our only sin.
You know what? We're talking
If I had the
fundamentally
time
about
to
raising
back
awareness.
I
Yes.
would do
Why
one.
do most black women spend a lot of their times of a weekend
Hairdressers?
hairdressers? This is the place that we could be kind of putting up posters with black people so that they can see that it applies to them as well.
Yeah.
Putting it really in people's faces.
Yeah.
This is affecting us.
Yeah.
It's really affecting us.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know, just off the top of my head.
It is.
that kind of
It's
thing,
all of
awareness.
these things, you know. So but you know, it all costs money. The printing costs money.
I know.
You know, getting the images together, it costs money. I mean, I live, eat and sleep dementia at the moment, and I'm just a volunteer. I don't get paid for any of the work I do or anything I do. Well, none of us do.
No.
We just do it as a love, you know, to help our community.
And if you don't do it, who is?
Well, that's it.
And the thing is, what I say to people is, you utilise what we have while it's there, because when
Yeah.
it's gone, you're
Yeah.
the first to complain.
Yeah.
Are you guys willing to give advice to organisations?
Yes, absolutely.
About how to, for example, because I know of a church who have a building and they are discussing making it into a nursing home, but they have no one really to guide them. But the people in the church are saying to them, we're getting older, we need somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, again, it's
And church has
not
got money.
a bad idea because there's very few places for us, you know, if it's done in the right way and by the right people.
You've got consultancy coming up there now. It's a way of making money, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to pay for it though, you know what I mean?
Pay for
We
it,
haven't
pay for
got
the
the
knowledge.
expertise.
Yes.
There's always someone we know within our community that has the expertise, and if we can talk to them and they're willing to give their time.
And again,
It's just time.
it's about working together. You know, even in this dementia story, as I call it, only we can help ourselves. Only we know our culture. Only we know who we are. When we go back in time with our elders, we can't expect